Hello everyone, welcome to English Tutorials by Poonam. In this video, I will be explaining part 1 of the chapter The Interview by Christopher Sylvester with the help of mind map. So let's get started. Christopher Sylvester was born in 1959 and educated at Lancing College, Sussex and Peterhouse, Cambridge, where he read history. From 1983 to 1994, he worked for Private Eye, initially writing the New Boys column, a series of caustic profiles, a newly elected MPs, and later specializing in political, legal, and media affairs. He has written for several newspapers and magazines, including the Evening Standard, The Guardian, The Observer, The Independent on Sunday, Esquire, GQ, and Vanity Fair. He is also the editor of the Penguin Book of Interviews, an anthology from 1859 to the present day, and the author to the Pimlico Companion to Parliament. Let's focus on the theme first. The chapter is a reflection of both the commendable and the condemnatory aspects of the interviews. The interview has two parts. In part 1, the narrator tells us about the reaction and views of celebrities towards an interview. The excerpt highlights the theme of how the freedom of the press can curtail an individual's privacy. The chapter also contains an excerpt from an interview with a scholarly celebrity. The thematic concern of the writer thus remains to engage the reader on interview as an art, which he tries to elucidate with the excerpt of an actual interview. Let's focus on the summary of the part 1. The interview is an excerpt from Christopher Sylvester's introduction to the Penguin Book of Interviews, an anthology from 1859 to the present day. The chapter brings out the utility of interview as a medium of communication. The chapter, as it appears in the textbook, has two parts. The former part, that is part 1, comprises of different views and opinions of people about interviews. The second part reproduces an actual interview of Umberto Eco taken by Mukund Padmanabhan from the Hindu. The interview, written by Christopher Sylvester, talks about the role and power of an interview in the field of journalism. He states that the interview, invented well over 130 years ago, has now become commonplace in journalism. Today, every literate or illiterate is acquainted with the format of interview at some point of daily life. Till date, thousands of celebrities have been interviewed. It evokes different responses in different minds regarding its uses, modes, and manners. Many view it as an art that brings out the real truth, helping one to get a perfect insight of the personality of the interviewee. And some despises the interview as an unwarranted intrusion into their lives, which diminishes their personality. Many celebrities detest it as an encroachment on their privacy and for its depreciating effect. Sylvester lists out well-known writers who are against the interview: V.S. Naipaul, Lewis Carroll, Rudyard Kipling, and H.G. Wells. V.S. Naipaul is of the view that interview has an injuring effect and during its course one loses a part of oneself. Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice in Wonderland, never consented to be interviewed. He shunned interviews for the fear of being projected as larger than life. His vehement refusal for interviews helped him to keep his fans, acquaintances, and interviewers at an arm's length. This gave him a great satisfaction as well as amusement. Later on, he would narrate such experiences with great relish. Rudyard Kipling also viewed interview as something derogatory and always refused to grant it. Though he himself had once interviewed Mark Twain, he neither held the interviewer in good esteem nor did he consider it to be respectable for the interviewee. His wife quotes him, condemning it as immoral, an offense, a crime, and something vile and cowardly. Saul Bellow compares interview to the thumbprints on the windpipe. It is an expression which reveals how uneasy and suffocated the celebrity felt during the course of an interview. The interviewee feels as though pressure is being exerted on his windpipe by the interviewer. In spite of its demerits, interview is a very good medium of communication. It is a supreme serviceable medium of communication, and they are the most vivid impression of our contemporaries. Dennis Bryan describes the interview as an expressive medium which gives an interviewer unprecedented power and influence. With this, we come to the end of this lecture. Don't forget to give your valuable feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. English Tutorials by Poonam Thakur.